About a year and a half ago, I started to dig deeper into Carol Christian Pohl, a designer I had long been aware of, but perhaps wasn't ready to tackle. The end result of that deep dive was a pair of drip tornadoes, video forthcoming, as well as a slight diversion into the world of Guidi, which tends to have strong audience overlap with CCP. Now, Guidi is a name that I've heard thrown around for years, and just never bothered to look into for whatever reason. And I have to admit that, at least at first, I kind of felt like their footwear line was irrelevant to me in a world where CCP exists. But Guidi kind of lingered in the back of my head, and I eventually learned more about the history of the name and came to appreciate what their footwear line is offering, and how it pretty significantly differs from CCP, despite ostensibly being in the same lane. The box here has to be the most plain and underwhelming of any shoe I've had yet, despite these also being one of the most expensive shoes I've had yet. There's a part of me that finds this nondescript, plain white cardboard box quaint, but truth be told, it's a bad first impression and a bit surprising considering how much attention to detail Guidi has put into the shoes themselves. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and guess that they are simply not trying to be a flashy luxury brand and want to save a few dollars on packaging. Hopefully the consumer gets to realize some of those savings. Inside is a rather large tote bag of decent quality. Curiously, the Guide crest is printed on an inner flap, so it may be difficult to flex with this. Also included are an extra set of laces, more on those later. So this model is the 795V. I find the naming scheme here a little confusing. The plain version of this mid-height lace-up boot is called the 995. Now I understand the V in 795V denotes a pre-installed Vibram sole, but I'm not sure why it changes to a 7. Also confusing was the two listings for these on Essence. Same model number, with the difference not really being explained in the description, but costing a little more. After doing some research, I believe that the more expensive pair adds a Norwegian welt, which should give it added resistance to water and snow, which is really cool, and I think the leather treatment may differ as well. I think the leather on mine, however, is the standard finish on most Guidis. In my research, I was amazed to learn of Guidi's storied history as a leather tannery. They've been in operation and family run since 1896, surviving 2 world wars. They're known for their vegetable tanning, which is a technique not at all unique to Guidi, but what is unique is their specific process for doing so, particularly on horsehide. Unlike a lot of other boots, this full-grain leather has not been corrected or buffed. It has a very natural appearance with imperfections on the hide, such as scarring and wrinkles being evident. Horsehide tanning is what Guidi made their name on, and it's plain as day why they have the reputation they do. My CCP Tornadoes and Coors leather have what I would describe as a more exotic look and finish, but these Guidis are more like what you would expect a phenomenal leather to feel like. More traditional, more conventional, if that makes sense. It has a slight suppleness to the touch, it folds and contorts beautifully, yet the upper has such a rigidity in its form, and you can feel in hand that the fiber structure of this horsehide is just super dense, way more than any cow's leather or sheepskin. Visually, it's super juicy, and the distressing process they put it through gives it a broken-in look out of the box. To get a horse leather to be this soft out of the box is quite unique from what I understand. There's no doubt that this is one of the best leathers I've come into contact with, and it's no surprise that Guidi is hailed as one of the best tanneries in existence. It's also hard to think of any other brand that makes its own hides for its own shoes. I should also mention that these are object dyed, another signature for Guidi, so they are extremely black and uniformly so from the upper to the stacked leather part of the sole. While Guidi has built its reputation as a tannery with the footwear coming far more recently in its history, these are also beautifully constructed shoes. The upper is quite thick with double stitching throughout with, of course, Goodyear welted construction, which gives these some water resistance and added durability, and also makes the sole more easily repairable, though that should be less relevant for this specific model. So let's talk about that V in the model name, the Vibram sole. Guidis that come with a raw leather sole do include Vibram soles in the box, though they are thinner, fish scale style protectors rather than what you're getting here, which is this super thick, intensely treaded sole. These are the most insanely dense, robust, whatever word you want to use, soles I've ever had. They even make a loud sound when you walk, as if they have metal plates in them. There is no doubt that these will last, and with the added height and tread pattern, I plan on getting some use out of these in the winter. These are phenomenally well-made shoes, by far the best I've featured in a video yet, with their construction being closer to traditional menswear from the days of yore than it is to most designer brands. I'm just beyond impressed with these as an object. I can't get enough of them. It exceeds expectations and makes me want more Guidis. Since I have the CCP Tornadoes, I knew I wanted a lace-up model, which is to me the most unique looking thing Guidi does. As much as it disgusts me to say this model is most analogous to a Doc Marten 1460 in size and shape, so a kind of mid-height combat-style boot with a traditional lacing system. There are no side zips on these. Compared to something like a 1460 though, the look is in an entirely different universe. The organic and slightly distressed appearance of the upper lends these a look unlike pretty much anything else, and the leather laces just further enhance that. They definitely have a handmade look, a little bit gothic, but with the lug sole, they have a bit of aggression to them as well, which is in contrast to their Vibramless 995 sibling, which looks a bit Jordan Model 1800. My least favorite part of almost all Guidi models is the round toe. Especially on the derbies, it gives a very clownish look in my opinion. On these boots, I think it's significantly subdued, though they still look pretty weird when you look straight down at them on your foot. I think from any third-person angle it is viewed at, though, it looks just fine. So the impetus for me finally ordering these Guidis was selling my all-black Rick Owens Ramones from a few videos back. I wasn't exactly in love with those Ramones, but I loved the idea of a more light boot that I could get away with wearing all year round, so these are serving as a sort of replacement. These are a nice pair of boots that fill that role of being a combat boot, but are a little more elevated, more sophisticated, and could be worn formally, as they don't have that bulky look that this style of boot tends to have. I've been on a real avant-garde meets military look lately, and these tread those two worlds flawlessly. I recently got a pair of gas mask cargos, and these are such a beautiful pairing with them, either tucked in or pulling over. They're definitely not a loud statement piece. It's more of a subtle complementary shoe, while still having some kind of edge to it as not to look out of place with something as extreme as these pants. Despite them filling that avant-garde role, I think they also have the ability to scale down with more basic clothes, which is why I feel these can coexist with the CCP footwear. With the Tornado boots, not only are they a statement piece and likely the highlight of your outfit, they're also just insanely detailed and extreme looking, and it makes them very difficult to pair with clothes. I have pairs of pants that are nice, but look like junk next to them. In contrast, the Guidis have the ability to go more basic and not look totally out of place. That's my overall takeaway between these two. The CCP is that really hardcore, turn it up to 11, track-focused sports car, while the Guidis are more balanced, able to tread in both worlds, more easily able to integrate into your life. The information on Guidi sizing is honestly a complete mess. I saw everything from go 2 sizes up to go a size down, or just go true to size. I'm sure things change over the years and between models, but with smaller batch handmade and also object-dyed shoes, the sizing is just inherently inconsistent. The Essence size predictor recommended I go up half a size, however half sizes don't exist, so I ended up going a full size up, which for me was a size 43 when I normally wear a 42. They're a tad roomy, but probably not enough to go down a full size, so I decided to add a set of insoles, and they now fit perfectly. Now, I was able to do that because I'm pretty sure these don't have proper insoles, at least removable insoles. I can feel a layer in there, but I also can't see any nails like on my CCPs, so I'm not entirely sure. Unfortunately, I'm not really comfortable recommending any sizing here, as you might buy this exact same model in the exact same size and have some variance compared to my pair. If I'm just going off of mine, it seems like a half size up might be the right move, but make sure you get these from a retailer that has a good return policy if you're unable to try them in real life. I get the impression that you could go true to size in these, but there would definitely be a break-in period. When it comes to comfort, these aren't bad, but they're not great. The upper is of course super soft and conforms around your foot, but with the lack of a true insole and the profoundly dense Vibram, they are a rather stiff platform for your foot. The insoles I got are Superfeet Black. At around $50 MSRP, they are super expensive, but they fit flawlessly and truly transform the comfort level of these boots. Then there's the elephant in the room, the lacing system, which kind of throws a wrench into the daily use practicality of these boots. As I mentioned, no side zips, and when laced, these tighten up a lot, meaning that to take them on and off, you have to go through the laborious process of loosening all but the last layer of lacing. In the short time that I've had these, I've become more proficient at it, but I wouldn't recommend wearing these to the airport. I also have my concerns about the durability of these leather laces. I saw some people have them break, and I can definitely see how that might happen, and it's something to be aware of, but at least they include an extra set. You could always swap out for cotton laces, but that would be a real shame. I paid about $8.50 for these on Essence, taking advantage of a 10% off coupon I had due to a shenanigan. That is a lot of money, no doubt, but if you're going to spend that much, this is one of the better ways to go. Guidi seems to have a lot more respect for this price point than the mainstream luxury and designer brands do, and at a time when the prices on everything under the sun are ballooning to unsustainable heights. I mean, just look at those Rick boots I had. The leather wasn't very impressive, and the plain rubber sole was not even welted to the shoe, just glued. Those actually cost more than these, and these put those to shame. Step foot into a Balenciaga store, and Guidi starts to look like good value for money. Guidi also does go on sale, though stock tends to be a bit sparse, especially if you're not a size 42 or 43. And more popular styles like the back zips can sometimes start selling out before the sales hit. So you do kind of need to put some more work in to get the best price on these, but it's totally possible to pay less than 1K for most of their models. And I think that's not a bad place to be given their quality. If you're watching this and wanted to know if Guidis are a good pickup, I say yes. I love them, I highly recommend them, and the quality lives up to the hype for me. Unlike CCP, they're far more palatable and are more easily integrated into your daily life. While the appearance does tend toward the side of avant-garde, I think they're still normal looking enough to potentially appeal to a broader audience that just appreciates quality leather and traditional boot construction. That's all I've got for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.